do work with Ahmed Mohamed Formula. Ahmed Mohamed Formula is a county coordinator. So everything we do in Grand Cape Mount, we actually pass through Ahmed Mohamed Formula to do it. Actually, we don't give him money. Sometimes people will be very curious and say, oh, there was a group of white people in studio. They talked to Ahmed Mohamed Formula, and I guess they brought a lot of money to give to him. Absolutely not. We don't give Ahmed Mohamed Formula money. He's 100% volunteering to ensure that his community benefits. So, for instance, in Majima, I've never been to Majima. In fact, originally I'm not from Grand Cape County, but he continued to keep the torch going and ensuring that we're doing work, some amazing work in Grand Cape County, and we're going to do more for the women, for men, for young people, for kids. In fact, sometimes ago we are having a reading program here in Grassfield community. We're teaching kids how to read, and we want to do more for young people. I think we've been just having some discussion with Formula so that we do a mobile reading library where we go from village to village to be able to help these people, just teaching them how to read and giving them books and inspiring them. Because I think if we have a reading population, they can make informed political decisions. Democracy cannot work in the absence of educated people. At least basic education as cities, knowing the responsibility of your elected officials and what they should do. And we want to be able to engage people as we go towards 2023 presidential and general election next year. It's going to be very critical for our country. We want to ensure that politicians are not just cooking and distributing t-shirts for people to wear and people to eat, and then they turn to vote for those people, but instead people are asking some real critical questions about the environment. We've seen, for instance, sea erosion will be a huge issue in rail sport in some time to come. How do we address that now? How do we ensure that we have policies and laws to be able to address that? I think that will come from ordinary citizens understanding some of the issues that have to do with the environment, and making sure that we have laws to be able to govern that. We have issues in Grand Cape Mount when it comes to having access to a basic health. Right now we've seen that there's a huge problem with some of the roads. For instance, if you go to Majima, you have to cross. The road is very terrible, and you have to be on bike or so forth. So, how are we able to leverage that? Supporting traditional midwives, ensuring that communities, now we have electricity in some of the communities, but rural communities, how do we give them solar power so that the students from there will also study at night? How do we introduce adult literacy programs? Some of the places we ban, people are actually talking about vocational trainings for themselves so that they can work with their hands. It can be tie and dye, it can be cosmetology, it can be soap making, it can be pastry, it can be catering services. I think that if we introduce all those programs and supporting them in those areas, it's actually going to help. Now, people also talking about value added. Grand Cape Mount is known for pasta jama, right? There's a lot of cassava patch in this county, and huge portion of the population, they depend on cassava farming to be able to support their family and send their kids to school. We listened to the testimony today from the chairlady of the women in Sabeng. She was saying that all the women there will farm to be able to send their kids to school in Morovia, and here in Grand Cape Mount. We're saying if we're able to add value to cassava product, for instance, if we're able to bring machines instead of having these women spending hours to grate the cassava, we can be able to help them with machine where the machine is able to produce cassava into various end products. For example, like super gari, something that people really love in Liberia. And if we can produce super gari, that would be something very amazing. It's also going to be a value added. If we can produce cassava flour, we can produce starch out of cassava. We can also be able to use cassava in various forms and packaging it so well. Cassava produces deeper fufu, dumbo, GB. So if we're able to just have get these women catering services where we have like Lake Piso, on Lake Piso we have a boat festival, and we bring people from Morovia to come and participate in this boat festival right on Lake Piso, and the women can come who learning catering to actually demonstrate that. And all of the people who come can actually be able to purchase those food from those women. So that's that in itself, because Grand Cape Mount is known as the tourism hub. You see a lot of people from Monrovia, a lot of African American and white people coming here in Grand Cape Mount. All they do is to enjoy the landscape and for free, right? But what if we're able to really add programs and helping these people and working with the local municipality to ensure that we're adding value added so that we have a maybe it can be once a year or twice a year. We plan a very big event where we bring people from all walks of life to come and converge at Grand Cape Mount, having additional hotels and so forth to be able to take care of the needs of other people. I think that will really, really help in the long run. So our plan is not just to give people handout, but we want to make it much more sustainable and deriving various solutions to some of the critical problems people are faced with. And we're very fascinated that we're here, especially having our friends from the US who have come to be able to listen more and to also be able to share their perspective. They don't have 100% solutions to none of the problems we face. I think they want to be able to help us succeed.
I like that. I think something too to point out is, we have a saying in the United States called, we don't want a handout, we want hand up, right? So, of course, a handout is where someone just.
One hand up, or the people who you deal with don't want hand out.
Correct.
So who you deal with should not expect hand out.
Correct. And in fact, there's nothing good about a handout, because what that teaches you is to not do things for yourself and to not be motivated and to not take action actively every day, right? You look for the easy street. You look for the path to do as little as possible when you only see handouts. But a hand up is a skill. Learning, educate yourself, take on a new job, take on a new skill, provide for your family. Only compare yourself to who you were yesterday and make sure that you're getting better. That's what a hand up is.